There are renewed clashes in the northern Tigray region in Ethiopia. According to the latest reports, there was an airstrike on Tuesday as government forces battled with Tigray People's Liberation Front forces. Those clashes come after a 5-month-old truce that was ending 2 years of fighting. Let's get perspective now. Bring in William Davison, Senior Ethiopia Analyst with the International Crisis Group. William, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. Put in context why we've seen this flare-up now.
I think it relates to the failure to address any of the disagreements that led to the conflict in the first place and developed during the conflict. There has been a truce this year and an increase in food aid, but major restrictions remained in place on Tigray, so the federal government did not really open up commercial traffic. There was still the denial of basic public services, including banking to Tigray. This contributed to a failure, really, to get a peace process off the ground and actually convene formal negotiations. So it's in that context of continued volatility and disagreement that we had sort of renewed mobilization, and that has been followed by this outbreak of now very serious conflict.
The Reuters news agency, I don't know if you've seen today, is reporting that there's been fighting, claims from the TPLF, according to Reuters, that Ethiopian and Eritrean forces are attacking Tigray. If that is indeed true, because Reuters has said it's unable to independently verify that, how would it shift the line of the battle lines, if you will?
That would mark a return to something like the all-out conflict we saw in 2020 and 2021. It would potentially indicate a second Ethiopian federal and Eritrean attempt to completely control Tigray, perhaps remove the TPLF government from power. So these reports seem likely to be accurate from the Tigrayan side, and it would mark a very serious and worrying escalation of this renewed conflict.
Would the TPLF, though, be able to take on not just the Ethiopian military, but the Eritreans as well, if they've indeed joined?
It's been very hard to assess the strength of the various military forces throughout this conflict, and therefore what is likely to transpire on the battlefield. All we know is that both sides, the federal military, Tigray's military, presumably the Eritreans as well, have been recruiting and training and strengthening and purchasing hardware. Obviously, it would be a major challenge for the Tigray forces, but we will simply have to see how that would unfold on the battlefield.
Is either side, the Ethiopian government itself, led by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and the TPLF, is either side closer to their ultimate objective?
It depends, I think, on what you assess their ultimate objective to be. But I think maybe the easiest, what we can say is that there doesn't seem to be any clear path to the sort of decisive military victory that would lead to political objectives being achieved. And even if one side does have significant battlefield successes, there's no reason to think that would lead to a sustainable political settlement. And that's why it's so important that the parties stop fighting, recommit to a cessation of hostilities, and try again to get down to the business of negotiation to try and find a sustainable settlement to this dispute.
William Davison, good to have your time, sir. Thank you.